Hi guys, we've got this super original little CL350 here, and if you remember it was making a terrible cracking noise on the clutch. There's a clutch problem with it. The clutch is stuck, seized, or not working somehow anyway. I don't mean the clutch plates are stuck together. The clutch mechanism isn't working. When I pull this, it's just, you can just hear that. It's trying to push the actuating rod, but it's not able to do for some reason. So there's that. Whenever you operated the clutch lever, it made this terrible nasty noise, and the clutch slipped in here. There's a little quadrant in there, and the cable pulls on that quadrant, and inside that are three balls that sit on tapered, in little tapered channels, call them that if you will. So when you squeeze the lever there, these things expand, and it pushes the clutch actuator across the plane of the engine and compresses or allows the clutch to be freed off. And when you release it, likewise, it kind of comes back and closes up again and allows the clutch to bite. So I don't want to have a look in here yet. I don't think the problem is in there. I think the problem lies at the other side. So we'll pop this clutch cover off the other side, and I'll show you there's nothing to be frightened of in there. You know, when you take the clutch cover off, a load of stuff doesn't fall out in a jumble of springs and bolts. You know, it's pretty straightforward. So let's pop the cover off now. We'll have a look, and then I'm going to polish that cover up because it's very tired and sad looking. And you know, it really puts a smile on the bike if you polish the covers up either side. So let's pop it off. Let's have a look in there, and I'll show you what's in there. And we'll change the clutch springs because I've got some new ones in the packet. And we'll change the clutch springs and let's see if that makes a difference. I'm going to pop this cover off now, and let's have a look at the clutch in there. You can see there's a screw missing from that, which is not good, but never mind. I'm hoping the thread will be all right in there. So let's pop these off now, and we'll get the cover off. I took the liberty to crack these initially before I started filming because they can be very, very tight. So I've just cracked them, and then I'll take off and let's have a look in there together. These can feel like they're quite tight on, but as I say, there's nothing in here that's scary. So I'll use one of this. This is a little hide-faced hammer. Hide at one end, hide there, you know, leather and copper that side. So I'll give it a couple of taps here. A little tap here. Don't get stuck on the gasket. Tell you what I'll do. Why don't I take the dipstick out? There's today's deliberate mistake, guys. It should come off now. There we go. Oh, great. Let's turn the gasket up, but that's to be expected. Okay. That's what it looks like. It's nice and clean in there. So we'll pop the clutch springs out. Given that I'm changing these, I'm not being too careful how I undo them. But when we tighten them back up, I'll be careful to go around, tighten them evenly all the way. If you did hear a clatter there, and I can see there's something missing here. There's a washer that sits on there. That was probably the clatter that came when I pulled the cover off. Nearly off now. Goes carefully down there. Oop. Before I did this, I took off the footrest bar. That just bolts to these positions there and there, and two on the other side, and popped off the kickstart. jobs. Okay, let's get the springs out. Well, they don't look in any way. And there are no closed coils at one end which would indicate which way they have to go back in. Okay, never mind. Let's get our new springs out. Just compare one with the old one. Okay, if anything is slightly shorter. Never mind. There are no closed coils on these either. By closed coils I mean the coils of the springs don't appear kind of bunched up, because that's often an indicator which way they have to go in. You know, bunched up at one end. I'm going to have a look at the clutch plates in a minute and see if they're in a good state, but first I want to see if we've cured that dreadful cracking and banging it was making as the quadrant was slipping. They're all starting to take up some tension now. So I'll just go around these, tightening them up, just evenly all the way around. Okay, good nip. Okay, let's see what it does. That's how I feel at it. That feels absolutely brilliant. Lovely light clutch now. So perhaps the fault was there. I'm going to, as I say, have a look at these plates now and see what they look like, but that's really encouraging. So I'll just pop this off again and then let's have a look at the plates. As those of you who have done quite a bit of restoration or repairing on motorcycles will know, so often it's one step forward and half a step back, and such is the case here. I had a look at the clutch plates and they're in good condition, so that's great news. So I've come to have a look at the clutch cover here and cleaned all the old gasket off with a view to polishing it up. When I was taking off the oil pressure relief valve here, we can see that one of the screws there is badly chewed up and stuck in there, and the other one that's sheared off. So we've got a problem there, and you've two ways to do it. I suppose I could spend the time trying to drill these out and re-tap them, or I can take the coward's way out, which I've so often done. And I keep a spare one here for exactly this kind of circumstance. So I'll polish this one up, I'll put it on, I'll work out what to do with this later, or simply I'll junk it and buy another one because they come up on eBay. But I'll polish this one up, clean all the old nasty gasket off that and put it on the bike. And that'll look great when it's on the bike, so that's good news. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to drop this front end out, and I'll just show you why. The front wheel's not great, as you can see. It's really quite tired and tarnished, and I've had a rub at it with some metal polish and it's not going to come back. You can see the hub there is really corroded, as is. Now, same at this side. The brake hub there is terribly sad looking. So what I'm going to do, I have a spare wheel here. I don't know where. Do this, shall I do this instead? I'll show you my face through it. I have this spare wheel, so I'm going to get the wheel. I'll get this wheel built onto that hub, but meanwhile I'm going to separate the hub and the wheel separate the wheel and the hub, and polish up the hub and make that look really, really pretty, and clean up the inside of the hub as well. But to do that, I need to chop all the spokes and separate it. So I'm going to get on with that now. And then while I'm waiting for the wheel to get rebuilt, I can polish these fork legs and make them lovely too. So in 2 or 3 days, I can stick all this together and it's going to look tons and tons better. So let's go on and do that now. Right, let's get this bottom of the fork. And these are so rusty, these bolts, these nuts. I truly don't think this wheel has ever been off the bike. It's still on the original tyres, the original Bridgestones, since 1972. I think that's absolutely astonishing. See, oh dear, I know what they feel like that. Just go back up the thread as well. Yeah. There's a magic squirt on it. Yeah! You can see the state there. I truly don't think they've ever been off the bike. Some nice new ones on. You can see the state of the hubs in there. It really is very, very sad and tired looking. But this will all polish back up. So I'm going to chop these spokes now. I'm going to chop all these spokes and separate this. And then I'm going to polish up the brake hub. And I'll drop this fender out and we can polish these fork legs. The legs are actually in really nice condition, just a bit sad looking. But I'll just show you the bolts at the bottom, and they're absolutely terrible. I don't have ever seen any as badly corroded as those are. So it just lends weight to my theory that this bike has never it's never had any kind of maintenance for the last 30 or 40 years. So originality is not all good, you see. Right, I've got the hub and the wheel separated, and you can see what a state it's in. It really is quite sorry for itself. Look at inside there. It's quite nasty. So what I'm going to do first, I'll probably get this first and start to clean the rough off it with this. If it gets particularly bad, I may indeed have to use this one, which is it's got the Scotch-Brite. This is the flapper wheel, as one of our friends named it. I may need to use this, but I hope not. And then when we've got through that, I'll clean it out inside with this. And I may even use some aluminium cleaner I've got, but I've never been brave enough to use yet in case it attacks chrome and stuff that may be near it. So I might just try that to clean it up afterwards. So let's give it a whirl. First off, let's clean off the worst with this. Well, actually, you can see there, just in that first few seconds, you can see that actually that's going to do it. So I'll continue working around it with this little brush, wheel, and just clean all this off, and then we'll get to polishing. don't know if you can see this, but someone's had a go at polishing this before, and there's lots and lots of scratches on it. I had polished it with something much more aggressive than we're trying to use here. I don't know, sandpaper or something, but there's lots and lots of little scratches all over the face of it. But we'll get those out with the polishing wheels. Right, I've gone round the hub with this wheel, and it's made a huge difference to it. It's quite a lot cleaner now, although it's quite badly scratched, as I showed you earlier. I've also cleaned around the inside of the hub, and I just used this more than anything, which is a kind of Scotch-Brite pad disc, and that looks a lot better too. But I'm going to polish up inside there too, and around that edge. But I think we're looking a lot better than we were a few minutes ago. So I'm going to put some of the magic gunk on here now on a polishing wheel, and let's start to polish this up. And you can see, I hope, that's starting to come through here. So change the wheel and put this one on, the polishing wheel, and let's polish that one up a bit. And you can see there, this part here is starting to come up really, really nice. And so I'm just going to continue doing this now and polish all around the edge and the rest of this hub. And I'll get onto the inside on these edges, and I'll show what it's like when it's done. Right, I've got these polished up now. I think you'll agree. That looks considerably better than it did previously. So I'm going to take this now and get it built on that new rim. I've also taken the opportunity to polish up the back plate. I need to do a little bit in there. These bits are a bit harder to get at, but that's going to look lovely when it's on the bike as well. So I also have the cover which I've started to polish, and that's my spare cover, so that's starting to look nice. I'm going to do a bit more to it yet, but I'll pop this on the bike. I'll take this wheel and get it laced up, and get some new tyres on the bike. I'll pop them on, and I'll be back in a couple of days to show you the ongoing build. So by the weekend we'll be in a much better state than we are today, so keep watching, guys. Thanks.